Hello, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. I wish you all an enjoyable listening experience. Today, I will interpret Hooked for you, with the subtitle being the 4 major product logics that cultivate user habits and the 4-step model of getting users addicted to products. Let's start with a real-life example. Every time Apple releases a new product, fans will camp outside Apple stores overnight, even paying thousands of yuan to scalpers, just to get the latest iPhone. Why would they invest so much time and money in a mere phone? Well, that's precisely because Apple delivers an unparalleled product experience that cultivates an almost religious-like devotion among its fans. In the words of this book, it's about getting users addicted to Apple's products. Addiction is not a short-term phenomenon. In fact, the market occasionally sees a few hit products, but they might fade away after just a couple of months or even weeks. Only those products that sustain their popularity have lasting vitality. So, how do you keep a product continually popular? The answer is to make using the product a habit for the users, essentially getting them addicted. The author of this book, Nir Eyal, is a former Stanford Graduate School of Business lecturer. Through observing and evaluating thousands of companies, he has summarized the common characteristics in the design and functionality of their products. He has also served as a consultant for many successful companies, validating his theories and updating his perspectives in the process. Ultimately, he has come up with a model to get users addicted to products. This model consists of 4 steps. The first step is trigger, which is about capturing people's attention and drawing them to the product. The second step is action, where users start using our product. The third step is called variable reward, which involves constantly providing users with rewards to stimulate them to keep using our product. The fourth step is investment, which is about encouraging users to put effort into the product, such as storing files or leaving traces. We will explain these steps in detail later. Having introduced the basic information about the book and the author, I will now delve into the content and highlight 3 key points. First, why is it essential to cultivate user habits? Second, I will explain the 4-step addiction model. Lastly, how to leverage this addiction model to get users addicted to one's own product. Part 1, let's start by examining the first key point: why should we cultivate user habits? According to cognitive psychologists, a habit is an unconscious behavior that arises from situational cues, an action we perform almost without conscious thought. Since our experiences are limited, our brains seek ways to handle more complex tasks. Habit formation is one such method. Neuroscientists point out that the basal ganglia in the brain is responsible for unconscious behaviors. Those reflexive actions we engage in during our daily lives are stored as habits in this region. As a result, our minds can focus on other things when trying to approach a task without actively thinking about what to do next. That's when a habit is formed. For example, many people have the habit of biting their nails, an action driven by subconscious impulses. Initially, they might do it for a specific reason, like removing an unsightly hangnail. However, if they start doing it without any reason, it indicates the habit has taken root. For people who have developed the habit of nail biting, they tend to do it when facing stress as a way to release tension. The more they associate nail biting with stress relief, the harder it becomes to break that conditioned response. So, what are the benefits of cultivating a habit of using a product for users? One benefit is increasing the user's lifetime value. In business management, it's believed that a company's value is equal to the total future benefits it will gain, meaning long-term vision is crucial. Making users dependent on a product is an effective way to enhance a company's value. As users become reliant on the product, their usage time and frequency increase. For instance, credit card issuers invest heavily in acquiring new users, as they value the user's lifetime value. Cultivating a user habit also enhances price flexibility. When users become more dependent on a product, their sensitivity to price decreases. Even if a company implements slight price increases, users are less likely to change their habits, which is the desired outcome for the business. Another advantage is expanding the user base. The more frequently users use a product, the more likely they are to invite their friends to use it too. Loyal product enthusiasts ultimately become brand advocates, promoting the company without costing the business much. Considering the aforementioned benefits, it's evident that cultivating user habits has a critical advantage in improving competitiveness. User dependency on a product becomes a competitive edge. Once a product successfully changes a user's daily habits, it significantly boosts the product's competitive advantage. For instance, let's take the keyboard we use. The current keyboard design originated in the 1970s for typewriters. Although digital technology eliminated the limitations of the typewriter, users' keyboard habits have already been formed. Since they learned to type on these keyboards during computer training courses, that familiarity solidified their habits. Having discussed the benefits of cultivating user habits, let's now explore the obstacles encountered when trying to foster new habits. Our brains tend to stick to existing thought patterns, making it difficult to switch to new behaviors. The biggest hurdle in cultivating new habits is the power of existing habits. An excellent example is the Google search engine. The author compared Google and Bing, two platforms providing anonymous search services, and found that they have relatively similar operations. Nevertheless, users are more accustomed to using Google for searches because Google was founded in 1998, while Bing is 11 years younger, and users' habits have already formed around Google. This illustrates that once users begin frequently using a specific service, it's likely to become a fixed behavior habit for them. Part 2. In the first part, we explained why it is important to cultivate user habits. It enhances user lifetime value, allows for price adjustments, expands the user base, and, most importantly, increases competitiveness. Now, let's move on to the second part, where we will discuss the 4 steps of the addiction model. As we mentioned earlier, the addiction model consists of 4 steps, aiming to trigger the user's desire for action, reward the user for taking action, and ultimately get the user to invest time and effort. So, how do we achieve these 4 steps? Let me explain in detail. What is a trigger? Essentially, it's about attraction. It is about creating a desire in others to use the product. For example, the scenic images in travel advertisements attract you to see the locations in person. Or a large sign-in button on a web page entices you to click it and explore further. So, how do we trigger the user's desire? It requires understanding their thoughts and emotions. The core reason why people become dependent on a product is emotional needs. People may experience negative emotions such as boredom, loneliness, or frustration. They unconsciously take actions to suppress these emotions and seek relief, providing an opportunity for triggering. How do we find the emotional needs of users? Toyota, the automotive company, has a famous method called the 5 whys. It involves asking yourself why 5 times to discover the essence of a problem and find corresponding solutions. For example, let's say our product is an email service, and our target user is a mid-level manager named Lily. How would we apply the 5 whys in this case? We could ask, why does Lily need to use email? To receive and send information. Why does she want to receive and send information? To share and obtain information. Why does she want to share and obtain information? To understand the lives of her colleagues, friends, and family. Why does she want to understand others' lives? To know if she is needed by others. Why does she care about this? Because she fears being rejected by her social circle. Here we have the answer. Fear is the most powerful trigger point for her. Therefore, when designing this product, we should consider alleviating the user's fear. This is the first step in the addiction model. Once the trigger has taken effect, the user develops a desire to use the product. This leads us to the second step of the addiction model, which is action. Action is about getting users to start using the product. The book mentions 2 mechanisms that can initiate user action: motivation and ability. Motivation involves creating enough desire in users to use the product, while ability focuses on making it easy for users to navigate and master the product. What's the difference between motivation and ability? For instance, a person really wants to eat peaches, motivation, and happens to be able to afford them, ability. Let's first look at motivation. Users develop the motivation to use a product based on their pursuit of happiness, avoidance of pain, desire for achievement, and fear of rejection. As people often seek acceptance and avoid exclusion, a product that brings happiness, hope, and recognition to users can serve as a motivation for action. Once users have the motivation, they still need the ability to use the product, otherwise, having a strong desire to use it will be in vain. If the product is too complicated to operate or has a high entry barrier, users may lose interest and enthusiasm. So, the simpler and more user-friendly the product's operation is, the lower the entry barrier, and the higher the user's ability to use the product. This can help users overcome their resistance to new products. For example, imagine your phone rings, and you don't answer it. Why? Maybe because the phone is in your bag, and you couldn't find it at that moment, making you unable to answer the call. Or perhaps you thought the caller was a telemarketer, and you didn't want to answer. This indicates a lack of motivation. The author's conclusion regarding this example is that actions must align with implementation, and motivations must be reasonable. Now, should we prioritize motivation or ability? The author's answer is to always address ability issues first. In real life, enhancing user motivation often takes time and money. How many people on the internet would bother to read website guides? Their attention is quickly diverted by online content. In contrast, simplifying the website's operation process drives them to take action. Making your product user-friendly and easy to operate allows users to handle it effortlessly. Twitter provides an excellent example. In 2009, when people opened Twitter, they saw a bunch of text and links. For users unfamiliar with Twitter, they had no idea how to use it. However, during Twitter's rapid development phase, they redesigned the homepage to be clear, simple, with minimal background and concise ads. They also added prominent calls to action, with large buttons for signing in or registering, guiding users to use Twitter. Once users start using our product, the second step of the addiction model, action, is already achieved. But that's not enough because users may quickly lose interest in the product. This is when companies need to consider how to retain users, which brings us to the third step of the model, providing rewards. What are rewards? Rewards are the additional satisfaction users gain when using the product to fulfill their needs. Rewards can be categorized into social rewards, achievement rewards, and intrinsic rewards. Let me introduce the three types of rewards one by one. First, there's the social reward, which originates from people's social relationships. We seek acceptance and approval from our social groups, searching for social identity. Moreover, when we see others being rewarded for certain behaviors, we tend to imitate them. For instance, in the online game League of Legends, which reportedly has over 1 billion players, there were many disruptive players taking advantage of anonymity to disturb the game's order and engage in toxic behavior. As a result, the game's website gained a bad reputation. To address this issue, the developers introduced a reward mechanism called honors. Players can give honor rewards to others for exhibiting excellent game behavior. This virtual reward encourages players to maintain a positive attitude within the community. Players who perform well and demonstrate cooperative spirit receive higher honor rankings and gain respect from others. The system also allows players to identify those who disrupt the game and remove them from the community. The second type of reward is called the prey reward. It got its name because in the past, humans used to chase and exhaust prey during long-distance runs before capturing them. This behavior is akin to the relentless pursuit of resources and information that people engage in nowadays. For example, in casinos, slot machines capitalize on people's desire to catch prey. Occasional big wins entice gamblers, making it difficult for them to resist. Another form of reward is self-reward. Sometimes people do something because they strongly desire to complete a task and achieve a sense of closure. Many large online games are designed based on this psychological aspect, with numerous levels and different equipment. As players' characters level up, they gain new abilities, and to obtain higher-level weapons or conquer uncharted territories and improve character roles, players immerse themselves fully in the game. By providing users with the first step of the addiction model, creating a desire to use the product, and then giving them the motivation and ability to act, we stimulate consistent action through a diverse range of rewards. This brings us to the fourth step of the addiction model, investment. Investment is about encouraging users to dedicate something of value to the product, such as time and effort. For example, playing a game consumes time, and the longer they play, the harder it is to quit, as the completed tasks in the game stimulate players to undertake other tasks within the game. Similarly, using a note-taking software for a significant period creates reluctance to discard the stored data, leading to continuous use. The more time and effort users invest in a product or service, the more they value it. We tend to value our labor's results, and feeling that we've given 1 unit of effort for 3 units of reward encourages us to engage more and fosters a sense of participation, strengthening the bond between the product and the user. Moreover, we naturally strive to remain consistent with our past behaviors to avoid cognitive dissonance, leading to an unconscious inertia. For instance, a major global furniture retailer distinguishes itself from other companies by selling unassembled furniture, and customers enjoy assembling the furniture themselves. This physical labor endows a sense of irrational affection for the self-assembled furniture and increases their perceived value. Additionally, every time people update their status, like, share photos or videos on social networking sites, these actions become part of their history, reflecting their experiences and various interpersonal relationships. Continuing to share and interact leads to these behaviors being recorded and archived. Over time, this collection of memories and experiences becomes more valuable. The more time and experiences users invest in a website, the less likely they are to abandon it. However, it's crucial to time the request for investment well. Users should experience the rewarding encouragement first before being asked for investment. For instance, Twitter encourages users to follow each other to let them experience the joy of being followed. This makes users more willing to share their lives on Twitter. Furthermore, the request for investment should progress gradually. Initially, users should be given small tasks to complete. In paid games, the initial beginners packages are offered at lower costs, and the initial opponents are relatively easy to defeat. As the difficulty level increases imperceptibly, users' interest is piqued. These are the 4 stages of the addiction model: trigger, action, reward, and investment. Businesses should always be prepared for the next trigger to strengthen users' addiction to their products. In the following section, let me explain the last key point: how to use this addiction model to make users addicted to your product. To employ the addiction model, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. First, would I use this product myself? Second, will this product significantly improve users' quality of life? If both answers are positive, then you can start trying to use this addiction model. Before attempting it, you should conduct habit tests on users. What is a habit test? It involves using data analysis to understand who your users are and their preferences, providing a more objective reflection of their behavior. The first step of the habit test is identifying the users. You need to determine how frequently users use your product and how many users meet your criteria. This can be deduced based on your product. For instance, a movie recommendation website like Rotten Tomatoes might have difficulty attracting users to visit more than twice a week. They typically visit the site only when they finish watching a movie or need to research which movie to watch. The second step of the habit test is to analyze user behavior. Each product has its own set of different user behavior patterns. Once you identify the habit path, you have a better understanding of what actions are essential in cultivating habitual users. By improving the product experience to encourage these behaviors, you can achieve your goals. For example, during Twitter's early days, when a new user followed at least 30 other users, they reached a critical point, significantly increasing the likelihood of continued website usage. For Twitter, guiding users to follow others became a top priority, setting clear objectives. After gaining new insights, shift your attention back to the product, and find ways to convert new users into loyal ones. One way to achieve this is through channel updates, content changes, removing or enhancing existing features. Channel updates are a marketing concept. For example, if you are a plate manufacturer and notice that selling directly to consumers is not yielding good results, you might start selling the plates to wholesalers who then sell to consumers. This way, you can increase profits compared to selling the plates directly. Content changes involve replacing content to match user tastes, while feature removal or enhancement involves adjusting product features to better align with user habits. Cultivating user habits is only one aspect. You should also observe your own behavior. Silicon Valley entrepreneur Paul Graham suggests that entrepreneurs should develop products based on their own needs. Instead of asking, "What problem should I solve?" ask, "What problem do I want someone else to solve for me?" This can inspire the development of the next generation of products or bring about groundbreaking improvements to existing solutions. If you are willing to use the newly developed product yourself and believe it can enhance people's lives, then your product already has an excellent foundation. So, to make users addicted to your product, you need to have a comprehensive understanding of your product, conduct habit tests through data analysis to understand user preferences, and know exactly which segment of the population your users belong to. Know yourself and know your users to create a successful product. In conclusion, we discussed what habits are and how they are unconscious behaviors produced under contextual cues. Cultivating user habits brings several benefits, such as increasing user lifetime value, price flexibility, expanding your user base, and enhancing competitiveness. The addiction model consists of 4 stages: trigger, action, reward, and investment. The trigger is the first step, attracting others and generating the desire to take action. Action involves getting users to start using our product, making it as easy to operate as possible. Designing rewards to make users feel rewarded while using the product encourages them to invest in it. Investment increases user engagement, and the more they invest and appreciate, the more addicted they become. Lastly, we discussed how to use the addiction model to make users addicted to your product. Conduct habit tests regularly to understand your users and find opportunities to observe your own behavior, inspiring the development of the next generation of products. This encapsulates the essence of this book. Congratulations! You've finished listening to another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel to listen to more audiobooks. Like and share with family and friends. Wisdom is worth spreading, and it will lead to a better future. Thank you, and goodbye.